Island belt is the radiation barrier into outer space, and they have what's called windows to shift them from one level of atmosphere to the other. And so the dome is actually the furthest reaches of a torsion field, and it's some kind of science involved with keeping us within the confines of that radiation belt.
All right, let's move on. Hold on, Genesis. Let's get to Meta Williams in the building. What up, Meta?
You got to unmute yourself, brother.
Yes, sir. Peace to you, brother. Good to see you, man.
Meter. My bad. Hey, man. Peace to the panel. What's up, Chief Pontiac?
Peace, God.
Hayes, man. I had dreads, bro. We chopped it up a few times. But I got a couple of things to add, and it's just to add on to some of the things that you were saying. And it is dealing with the GG. So the GG was stationed, what's that? The Emerald Tablets of Thoth, and it's a couple areas where they explained about the GG. The GG was in
I think it's Atrahasis.
Yeah, the GG was stationed in Mars, and it was a working class, and they had got fed up because they didn't have no women or nothing, and all they was doing was just working. But from my understanding, it was more of them than it was. Well, it was all Anunnaki. It was just different races. And I knew came because of Enlil and Enki on and off disputes. So when the GG got aggressive, then I knew stepped in and gave them a little bit more. But then that's when, this is where I want you to go in at. Eden. Because some say it was like a laboratory, gated. And when the GG came down, and then Anu was like, yo, this is what we're gonna do. That's when they got the splice and things like that with Eden. And then you got Anana. She carried the first Homo sapien sapien for to be a working class, like slave.
Mm-hmm.
Can you elaborate on that?
We already touched on all of that you just said.
I set the phone down for a minute, man. I apologize.
Yeah, we went over all that information already.
Yeah, but then, well, we can go in on, can you explain? Well, you did a show with what's the name, with shadow work. I just want to go deep and just give the people, you know what I'm saying, a little wide range of how you becoming, man, and it be so deep and dope. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. Well, we just right now. Right now we just on here with Sai. He wanted to talk about the Anunnaki, so we gonna so
I you know,
yeah.
So Sai, come back to me, man. I can.
Let me get to my man Cosmic Chris. I know Cosmic getting ready to go into space. He getting ready to get into the aliens, and I think Cosmic think he's probably one of the new, the
phenom,
Anunnakis. Let's go, Cosmic.
Yeah, shout out to you, peace to the panel.
Peace, brother.
I just want I'm coming to you more of a student right now. I know last time we talked, we had a little, you know what I'm saying, we was going back and forth on the good topics. I just want to come as a student a little bit.
I like your tree in the background. Nice tree, brother.
You know, I don't celebrate all that, but you know, my girl.
Should have got the colorful lights, man. The color light.
And it's a black tree. It's blacked out, just so you know. That's why I look like that. You feel me?
We got the black lights
black all the way.
Should have got the black lights.
Yeah. Oh, we working on it. Ain't done yet. I'm waiting for my son to come over. You know what I'm saying? And
there you go, brother.
And we're gonna get right. So.
Yep.
Now, I want to ask you, what can you teach us about Anunnaki putting caps on our lifespans?
What they talking about is reducing the length of the telomeres on the chromosomes. They have a new drug out now called telomeres. And it actually is designed to extend the telomere caps that causes a lot of what they call congenital illnesses or stuff that you get from age to decrease, like high blood pressure, diabetes, and it start giving the signs of reversing aging. It makes your skin better. So when they talk about them capping our DNA, they actually uncap most of the chromosome, where the telomeres only cover the tips of the chromosome. This is what they call in the Bible that that the spirit should always dwell with man, for his days should be 120 years. That's based off the median time frame of a person living a healthy lifestyle to reach 120 with minimal complications. But with all of the poisons added to the atmosphere, to the food, to the water, all of those things are reducing the lifespan of humans.
Yeah, I agree with you. I didn't know about that medication that they had put out. I gotta look into that because that sounds very interesting for real. But I agree with you on the telomere caps, and that was Genesis 6:3 that you was referring to when my seed shall abide in man for 120 years. Yeah, they definitely got that inside the Bible in Genesis 6:3. So my next question to you would be, well, what did the Anunnaki think of the humanoid that was on Earth when they arrived?
They thought of us as primitive and savage, according to the text, because when they say they took one of the hominids that existed, they say they captured one of the savage hominids that was roaming the earth already. So the Sumerian tablets testified that we was already here.
Okay, well, just a little piggyback on that. Well, would you say that we have some of their DNA inside of us?
According to the text, and without me getting in the laboratory, actually looking at the genome to determine what's natural to the human and what's not, I can't say for sure, but based on the stories we've been given over the ages and the way that we've been told everything operates, it would seem that a sizable portion of the human family have Anunnaki, or they really call it the denier DNA.
So would it be safe to say that they liked us enough to at least share some of their DNA with us, or they at least found us in a
I know they liked our women enough to set off on a 6,000 year rape campaign. So they gotta like us some kind of way somewhere.
Well, you think it's rape? I mean, grape. I don't want to use that word on YouTube, but you think it's to that extreme? You wouldn't think that it was just.
So I just read it out of the book. Yeah. And they've been doing it all over the earth. They ain't stopped. Look, when they talking about blood sacrifice, they talking about a Babylonian blood magic ritual, right? When the church talk about taking the Eucharist, drink of the blood, eat the flesh of the Christ, it's symbolically eating the deceased corpse of a god, right? And spiritually, the symbolism is the same as the actual event. They reenact it in order to make sure they can keep the spell in place. This is the Babylonian sin, right? That's why they say everybody is born in sin, shaped in iniquity. What they're talking about, all of us is being born, taught these bloodletting rituals of sacrifice that was written by Anunnaki by the name of Ninursin as a conjure control over people. He also wrote something called Babylonian Sex Magic and Babylonian Money Magic. And he masqueraded as Tahuti during the Anunnaki Wars.
Well, how many aliens do you think, from your information and your opinion, how many aliens do you think can be on this planet right now?
Out of 8.4 billion people?
Yeah. I mean, and plus the ones we don't know about.
Man, I can't give you no number. That right there,
that's what I was waiting for. I was saying to myself, nobody can tell you that.
that's a very high speculation that takes a lot of confidence in knowing everybody individually on the planet. I don't know everybody.
I mean, estimations. Yeah, I mean, estimations ain't never hurt nobody. I can dig it. I'll accept that answer. I'm with somebody. My girl wanted me to ask you this. She wanted me to ask you, is there any study that compares human brains to an alien species brain? If so, where can we find it?
If they did a study, it's still classified as top secret. And if they did a comparative analysis, it's in secret, it haven't been released. Because remember, they just now admitting to the possession of what they call biologics, which is the bodies of what they call aliens. So if they just now admitting that, a lot of their studies like brain mass, weight, density, how many synapses per square inch, all of that stuff, they would have not released it yet because they only just now telling us they got the body. So we don't know what studies they done on the body, actually done on the body of the biologics that they possess.
Okay, all right, that's fair. Now, my final question to you, and I don't know too much about this, so this is what I really need you to expound on, because it's hard to really get good information on this because none of us have ever been there. But what did the Anunnakis say or leave behind or depict anything? What did they say about Antarctica?
Antarctica is not called Antarctica in ancient texts. Matter of fact, Antarctica has only been called Antarctica roughly about 100 years. Mm-hmm. Right? Before that, I forgot the name it was called, but it's in the book of Enki. Mm-hmm. I mean Enoch. In the book of Enoch, he describes the landmass of Antarctica that's under the ice before the ice was formed. Right. So when you go to the book of Enoch and he started laying the landmass out of this desert place that he's describing what's under the ice in Antarctica. And they only just now, since they've been going to Antarctica, was able to discover that that's the place that Enoch is describing.
Okay. Yeah. Because I haven't delved into the Antarctica subject too much. I try to stick on, you know what I'm saying, to reality. Like we can't really touch base over there. But I just always be fascinated with Antarctica. So I think we should hear more about it on this channel for sure.
Look up the Bashinga tribe of Antarctica.
Bashinga. Okay, bet.
Before you go, I want to just add what Rod said if you're interested. There's an herb, actually it's a root called the astragalus root. I showed it on the screen, and it helps to maintain telomerase, which maintains the length of your telomeres, which is what he was talking about. You can actually go get that at any health food store.
Oh yeah, can you name that one more time? Yeah,
it's astragalus, astragalus root. And I don't know if that's what you're talking about, Rod, but it's a supplement that I use, and basically it helps activate telomerase in your body, which is an enzyme, and that keeps your telomeres long, like in your actual DNA. It keeps it from. That's how we age. Our telomeres start to shorten. So it's called astragalus root, and you can go research it. It's really good. You should take it as a supplement. I don't know, Rod, what do you think? Is it good? Because you said a chemical or something like a drug, but there's an actual, like I'm saying, there's a natural supplement. What do you think about that? Have you heard of it?
I haven't heard of that particular root. I haven't done research on it. Before I had came across the telomeres treatments that they was putting out. I was onto the studies from a gerontologist out of UCLA named Cynthia Kenyon. And she found a receptor on the cells that allows also the aging process to ensue, which contributes to the deterioration of the telomere. So go look up, she got lectures on YouTube, Cynthia Kenyon from UCLA Berkeley. She's the gerontologist who had discovered the human aging hormone. And she created a blocker, but they still doing what's called animal trials.
While we're still talking about South Africa, I did want to like ask this question in Antarctica. So Credo Mutwa talked of the moon being a spaceship that came into Earth's orbit millions of years ago. Based on South African mythology, and some Earth-based South African beliefs, they remember a time when the moon didn't exist in Earth's orbit, and there was a fog that when the moon came, it regulated the oceans and seas and took the fog away. He also talks, speaking to aliens, South Africa being close to Antarctica. What do you think that things like when you talk about the Anunnaki and different aliens and things like that, is there like some alien life form in Antarctica? And what do you think about inner Earth theory? Like the
okay, first, the last question first. The Earth is cavernous. It got giant caverns. A good example is the Mammoth Cave in Kentucky, right? So just imagine that somebody can turn these into living quarters and be able to sustain themselves. All they would need is the flow of water and some kind of light in order to illuminate the cavern, and they would be able to live in there indefinitely if they know how to greenhouse farm. They have underground bunkers that's been emptied in Switzerland where people was living there. But now they tell it as if it was just a contingency for war. But Switzerland is the only country that has been the neutral zone ever since it was established, and they've been financing both sides of all wars. So those people that was living there, I don't know where they went, but they ain't there no more, because now they are showing and exposing those bunkers, thousands of them, which is cities underground. There's also cities underground in the Middle East, in India, and cities underground in Europe, and cities underground over here.
So you remember there's a pilot that went down to Antarctica and he said that he got guided in. I think it was like Robert something. He went into Antarctica and it guided his ship into it, and he got to see a whole city down there.
That was Admiral Richard Byrd. His first voyage was into the center of the Earth through the North Pole. His second voyage was supposed to be a trip to Antarctica, which he ended up going to the inner Earth through Antarctica as well, according to his report.
So was that a cave, or was that does that prove that inner Earth exists?
Well, if it's a cave, it's still inner Earth. Even if it's just a cave, it's still inner Earth. It's inside the Earth. That's inner Earth.
Right. Good point.
I want to ask you, Rod, with that question. Like, I'm so glad you brought that up. You know how people say, well, our people aren't from caves. We're not from caves. So what do you think about that when we hear about this? You've probably heard of it, I'm sure, where the early humans had to go retreat under the earth, underground, to survive from, I think it's these watchers that you talk about, but they say Neanderthals. And also, I want to ask you that too. Are Neanderthals the watchers? So, but I want to ask you, what do you think about when they say Black people, they make the distinction, or we make the distinction saying Black people aren't from caves? When you talk about inner Earth, can you answer those two questions for me, please?
If it's a place to inhabit anywhere on the Earth, in the Earth, or around the Earth's surface, we didn't been there.
Yes, sir.
We didn't been there. we already know in our collective historical record everything we know about Earth. The people that don't, they the ones that's now learning about Earth as your scientists, your explorers, etc. They the ones trying to figure out everything.
Okay.
When our consciousness come back all the way online, a lot of the stuff that I'm saying ain't gonna sound so crazy no more.
No, that makes a lot of sense what you just said, and I absolutely agree about that point. And then I asked the second part. I forgive me that I'm just overloading you with questions, but I have a lot of questions always for you. So what about and forgive me if you already addressed it, but when we talk about the Watchers, you know, interchanging Anunnaki, Watchers, Nephilim, whoever they are, like, are they at all related to what we're told in science as like the Neanderthal, who's not and even the
Denisovian. So
yeah, look, so tell me about that. Are those the actual Watchers?
The Watchers, they look like regular people and they live around us, but they don't participate in hardly anything, but they watching everything going on. They creating what's called a eyes-on approach to the Akashic records being uploaded.
Oh, wow.
That's why they call them the Watchers. They don't, like, the dirt might be going on and they might be everywhere the dirt at, but they don't never participate. They just need to see who the dirty players was. So now it's in the Akashic record. So when we finally get this solar flare that wake us all the way up, all that information, we gonna know every dirty player, whether we want to know them or not.
Okay, like are they like, you're saying like sleeper cell kind of people?
Almost, except they might not never be used in war like a sleeper cell will. They might just only have to see the dirt being done.
Wow. What about this? I keep on saying I want to talk to you because I actually had an interaction with something when I was smaller. So I'm not stuck on the word Watcher, the name, but it was a very, very big, like tall shadow. It wasn't even a shadow. It was like I couldn't decipher what it looked like, but it was a very big presence. And it was like, it gave a vibe of male. And so what are those shadow people that we hear about that come and manifest to us? Like, what are those? Those aren't Watchers then when they interact with us?
Normally those are ancestors. And the reason why you don't really get a good visual of them because they're outside of the 3-dimensional 1% light spectrum, right? Anything outside of your light spectrum, it can still communicate with you. It can see you, but you can't see it. But when it starts communicating with you using psychic channels, you'll get imagery of the outline or the layout, or you'll see something that will identify who it is. Psychic self-defense tell you that anything that comes into your circle, right, which is your 6-foot perimeter around your body, your questions is, who are you, where you come from, and what do you want? Because you don't have to agree to participate in anything they present to you. Those are from the laws of magic, right? They teach people that in magic, that when they encounter a entity, they make the entity have to identify themselves to you and state their nature of business with you and who sent them if somebody sent them. And a lot of times these are egregores, which is called a thought form, where somebody can concentrate enough mental energy to go perform a task that's outside of the light spectrum, like communicate with somebody through a projection of imagery of the mind, because all minds are connected, whether we want to accept it or not.
When they communicate, because as I said, I had a couple of interactions, it always has a very, very, very deep voice. Like, what is that? I'm sure you've heard of this.
The voice of many waters.
Why is it so deep like that?
Okay, so you got to remember, they coming from a different frequency tone as you. In the 3D, we have a spectrum of frequencies that we can intonate through vocalization.
Mm-hmm.
And in the spirit realm, they got a different set of vocal frequencies, but they talking to you psychically. Part of them sounding like they have a deep, heavy voice is the sense of authority. That's what the name Enlil mean, the Lord of the booming voice. Right? But it also means Lord of the Starfleet, the governor of the one who carried the ships from the Starfleet. So we got two different meanings, because the word in Sumerian Akkadian mean Lord. Lil mean booming voice, right? But it's applied as a secondary application to the one who is in charge of command, because the one in charge of command is in charge of the voice of command, which they say sound like the voice of many waters.
Yes, definitely. That's a beautiful answer. When can I sit down and actually have a one-on-one with you about the encounters? And I want to actually have you talk to us about how that relates to the like the Dushi, the Sasquatch. I want to do it tomorrow. No, when? Like, do you think we could do something this week?
Yeah, you got to inbox me.
I'm just gonna go through Sonnetter. I'll go through Sonnetter. Is that okay?
Okay, just have him. Yeah, just have him text me where you want the information. I can't do nothing tomorrow. Either Friday or Saturday, I might be able to work something with you.
The reason I'm saying this is I have 1,000 questions. What you just answered with the voice, and you related it to Voice of Many Waters. I never put that together, and I'm really good at putting stuff together. So I have so many things that I want to actually pick your brain on with my encounters, because you know what happens, Mr. Hayes? They like there's cycles of my life when they come in, and I know something is, I don't know how to explain it, but you get what I'm saying? Like
we'll talk, we deal with, because you got yours is more along the lines of metaphysical and mysticism. So that's a different show from today, but yeah, get with Si. He'll set us up for either Friday or Saturday.
Awesome, thank you.
So I have a question too. Before I know Sonnetter trying to leave. CERN, I know. Hold on, real quick. CERN is trying to separate dark matter from, or trying to find out what the God particle dark matter is, and then they're saying that there's creatures coming up out of that when they actually charge that system up. There are actually things coming up out of that, and then you have like this Mandela effect that's like actually happening. What do you think that they're trying to do? Do you think it's like they're trying to create like a worm, not a wormhole, but like try to like figure out a way to space travel through this, or what is your idea on CERN and what their intentions are?
CERN is doing a lot of things. The God particle is called the Higgs boson. They discovered in 2012 on December 26th. The thing about the CERN is it's a collider that smashed particles, and they've been trying to figure out, until they found what's called the God particle, what gives matter density when everything is created from light. And the answer came in with the God particle discovery of the Higgs boson. Dark matter, they've been studying longer than they have the Higgs boson, because they call dark matter the ether, call it spirit, they call it, they got a whole bunch of names for it, but it's still the same substance, right? And it's the thing that ties all things together through unified field effect. Dark matter, which we call it the waters of the Great Mother, her primordial uterine secretions of creation.
So do you think that what they're trying to do is create like a wormhole, like a dark, like a black hole that they could try to like do space travel through, because they know they can't?
No, they already know how to do portals. They reverse engineered several stargates in World War II. So they already know how to create stargates and open portals. Whatever they doing, I believe what they trying to do is what they did before, to trap us in another infinity loop, is to explode a atomic-like bomb between two dimensions and collapse them on each other, so you stuck in the figure 8 infinity loop.
Which explains like the whole Mandela effect that's happening every time they charge that machine up, because it'll make things change and things like that.
Well,
and you just like debunked what's his name, Billy Carson, because Billy Carson said they're trying to create a wormhole and travel through it and bend space and time.
Stop, Genesis. Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. Don't mix my brother up with Billy Carson right now, man. Don't do that.
No, he just debunked him. He just killed him.
Yeah, right now his Billy Carson ain't doing too well. He's gonna have to come up, get up on that. We gotta
I
get him.
believe in him and Billy Carson. I was like, damn, you just killed him. Thank you for that. Thank you for clearing that up, because I was believing that shit. Thank you. Wow.
Yo.
Wow.
All right. So
they already had Stargate.
All right.
Hey.
Hold on. I'm getting ready to close this thing out.
Okay. In the defense of Brother
who's talking, man? I'm talking.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, Mr. Williams, go ahead, brother. Go ahead and get your last question in. We getting ready to close this thing out.
Okay. In the wars, we're dealing with the Anunnaki. Enki had a son. Enlil had a son. And Enlil's son was Enkidu, or who I'm kind of shy with the name. Slight. Was it Mark? It was Vegeta that was imprisoned in what we called Antarctica.
That was Marduk.
Familiar with that?
That was Enlil's son. That was Enlil's son named Marduk, that he named after Enki's son Marduk.
Yeah.
So in the Anunnaki wars, what they do is they change names. So Enki had a son named Marduk, son of Enki and Damkina.
Yeah.
And Enlil named one of his sons Murdoch. It looked the same in Akkadian writing, but they're two different people, and you can only tell by what they doing which one is being spoke of. And this is so that the information get lost in history. And both of them, Enki's son and Enlil's son, is both looked at as the bad guy, when one of them was here to help and the other one was here to do harm.
Yeah. Well,
right.
He was imprisoned in Antarctica, right?
Yeah. That's what that's in the book of Enoch.
Yes, but then it goes a step further. It was Marduk. There was when we go back to the wars, when the ship, Marduk crashed into Kai and exploded and made Earth afterwards. I'm just elaborate on that.
You talk about when it was the great planet Tiamat before the arrival of the moon. That's what you're talking about. That's that's not the war. That's the incursion when they first came and they couldn't navigate through what they call the atmosphere. They couldn't navigate through the solar system because they didn't know the plotting of the planets in their first arrival. That was the signal of their first arrival in the record. Right.
When it was Nibiru up under Marduk though, right?
Right. So what happened, he wasn't under Marduk at that time. It was under Anu rule. But Enki's son Marduk was told by Enki to go secure Nibiru when Enlil launched his Earth attack.
Yeah.
When Enlil launched his Earth attack, Anu is on Earth. That's why he waited for Anu to make the visit to stop the war between Enki and Enlil. And when he got down here, that's when Enlil launched the largest attack on all of Enki's installments or bases. When he did that, Enki told his son Marduk secure Nibiru. The only way they would know if it's secured when the message came back, Nibiru is now called Marduk. Right? That means Nibiru is secure from the war that's taking place on Earth. And then right behind this is when the formation of the Galactic Council was formed, because the war on Earth began to affect other places. And they say, until y'all figure it out, y'all stay in this enclosure. We're going to put y'all in this Pleiadian light lock and with the Arcturian support, so nobody can leave until y'all resolve the matter, which was the Anunnaki war on Earth. It was the war in heaven biblically that landed on Earth, right? Because if you go to the Bible, it tell you there was the war in heaven. And it say, and Satan and his angels fought against Michael and his angels, and Michael and his angels cast Satan to the earth. Right? So the war in heaven landed on earth. It didn't mean the war stopped. It just means that it came to earth.
All right. No, that's enough, Mr. Williams. We got to move on. Nazarene, let's go. Talk to us.
Thank you. Hey, man, salute, brother Rod. Love what you do, man.
Appreciate it.
Real quick, is it a portal in the Grand Canyon? And what is a good technique, to really know who you are? If you can answer that for me.
It is a Stargate. All of the temples, it was 12 Stargates on Earth. Right? And you could walk through the Stargate in Arizona and come out in the Stargate in Giza. You can go through the Stargate in Arizona, come out in the Stargate in the Himalayas. Right? And et cetera, et cetera. And what was the other question you asked?
And what's a good technique to know who you are?
Self-talk and breathing like a singer. The reason why you want to breathe like a singer, because you only using the top 2 chambers of the lungs. You need to get oxygen in all 4 chambers for them to all be activated for you to breathe, or what they call proper spiritual information transfer on the breath. Then the self-talk, you learn the art and science of self-talk. Your higher self can find answers that you can't find, because your higher self is not restricted by the 3D universe. It can go get information from anywhere. And by you learning how you communicate with your higher consciousness, it tells you how your higher self is trying to answer the question that you asking of yourself to find.
All right.
Thank you. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it.
All right. Damn, man. I should have been promoting my Patreon, y'all. I'm surprised my Mars ain't been hitting my Patreon up. All right. Let me show y'all all the videos that y'all been looking for on my channel. They are now going on my Patreon page, because YouTube, for some reason, is bothering me. So, there's always ways to get around it. And they are not coming off of YouTube. They're going straight on there. I'm using the video, not coming from connecting YouTube to Patreon. You can now upload your video straight to Patreon. So in case y'all looking for all my classics, because I've been getting a lot of hits from people saying, where's all my classics at? Well, it's like my Netflix. It's like a Netflix channel. If you're not subscribed to my Patreon, $5 a month. That's all it is. $5 a month. And I have over 5,000 videos or more between Sarnetta Studios and the HOK. And so here's some of them right here. This is the first one y'all might see until tomorrow when I start uploading more, with Nepal taking on JJ 7000. This one right here, yes, it's Polite versus Captain Tazoriak. This is their first debate ever. I can't put it on YouTube because the clowns on YouTube will say, oh, you're promoting Polite. The suckers, the sucker ass niggas. They will say stuff like that instead of looking at this is all classic history right here. So even I think I think even Captain Tazariak got this up on his channel, but they ain't gonna say nothing to Captain. They want to try to bother me and intimidate me, but they can't. It ain't gonna work. We got Polite versus Captain Tazariak. This right here was in Philadelphia. If y'all didn't see this, this is the one where Captain went in. And his wife tried to stand up, and Captain put her butt right in check. That was crazy. So you'll see that. We got the Bethy, Hebrews. We got all of these. This is where all my videos is at, y'all. All right, they go Inky and going in with them. And guess what? This is where y'all find the debates that y'all didn't see either. Here you go, Jabari taking on 3 Hebrew Israelites. In case y'all didn't see that, that's up there on my Patreon. All right. We got Young Pharaoh going in. P. Diddy, the bad boy record label cursed. Is he being set up like Bill and R. Kelly? Okay. I'm just showing y'all what we got up here. There's a lot of material up here, y'all. All right. This is my Patreon channel, and it's only $5 a month. And all the new debates will be up here. All the new stuff will be over here. I will also be going live on my Patreon when I know that it'd probably be a little controversial. Remember when I did that interview with Cynthia G? It's right here, y'all. Cynthia G. That interview was 2 hours and 30 minutes long. Cynthia G. Sarnetta goes one-on-one with Cynthia G. That's up there. Sarah Sukaseti and Sabir. That's their debate, part 2. And I can load up and go for more.
Wait, stop 1 second, King.
Yeah,
right there, Genesis, that's the debate.
Which one?
Was the one he was talking about? I thought it was okay.
See, that's Sabir Bey is not that person. So that's all I wanted to say. We'll talk about.
Who are you talking about?
Some brother said, well, I'll let her say it. He said that he did a debate with SETI and something like that.
But who was it? Who was it, Genesis?
Anel Bay, something. Hold on.
Was it Sabir Bey?
No, it was not Sabir Bey.
It was, hold on, his name is
Brooklyn Intelligence.
Sharif Anel Bay. Sharif Anel.
Oh,
Bay.
you're talking about Sharif.
Brother, did you have a debate with him in Sonetta?
No, they never debated. Sharif debated Reggie. Brothers, he must have got it mixed up. But yeah. Sharif debated Brother Reggie. That was Reggie's first debate.
Oh, okay. That was okay.
Yeah, and shout out to the brother. I'm not dissing him or anything. I was just trying to make it clear. You know. Anyway.
Garfield versus Gorilla Hebrew. This is where you see all the material. Oh man, Daniel Olive versus Battle Truth. The virgin birth. They did this too. The virgin birth. Did Jesus die for everybody or their sins? That's right there. Vocab Malone.
You got Nature Boy and all his wives doing their three.
Yeah, I got all of that. Everything is over here. All the stuff that YouTube don't want over there.
When we bust this pinata. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
All right. So as you can see, all the stuff is over here in case y'all looking for me. Can y'all drop the link? All right, drop the link to the Patreon. That's what my brother's asking. Let me get the link, y'all. Let me drop the link to the Patreon page so that y'all can get ahead. First, let me finish showing y'all all the wealth over here.
You know you're not going to be able to show everything. You have so much on here.
No, I am going to show everything. You got to pay for it. You got to pay for
right here, King. You can't show everything on here.
I got you. I know. I'm just going to keep going down the line. Right here. I got all the stuff over here. And all the polites, even though y'all probably say polite, I got all that over here, y'all. All of that is over
here.
Yeah, where that's at?
Right there. You just right there. No, you had it. Right. Go up right there.
Oh, yeah. I got all of it over here.
Hey, shout out to General SETI, by the way.
Yeah. Shout out to SETI.
I love that brother, man.
Remember, look at this one.
Hey,
or something I want to say that I read in a book and I want to get your opinion on. But before I bring that up, I want to ask you, where did the story, we talk about these stories that are like, they have a deeper meaning to them. They're like allegories. We have the Bible. They describe an internal process that's happening inside of us. But the story form allows us to be more connected to it. So they tell us this story form. Where did, and I'm gonna be doing more things in story form. I gotta call you and tell you about it. I talked to Red and Blue Pill about it. That's a conversation I gotta have with you on the phone. But where did the story, Rod, of this genie that grants us 3 wishes? There's a deeper meaning to this genie. We're talking about manifestation. This carpet, Aladdin, this carpet, this genie granting us wishes. That seemed like a hell of a deal. We could get whatever the fuck we want from this genie on this carpet. Where does this come from? What's the deeper meaning behind this story before I go into what I read in this book, Rod?
So in the earth traditions of the tribes of the earth, we have the people that have namesakes, right? That's all of these people that's naming their children after Ra. They naming their children Osiris. They naming their children all these deity names. Those children have the genetic capability, after being programmed by the parent with that name, to download the same frequency of leadership qualities that those people displayed. These stories is designed in order to tell you the type of power if you carry a certain name. In this case, we're talking about the genie, which is the jinn in Islam, which the church wanted to turn into the devils of Islam when they was the totem protectors of those tribes, so that the Catholic Church don't have to worry about them calling on their God to assist them when they can use our God to run away from their God, right? So they polarizing. All of these stories is to make you not use your ancestral power source by villainizing them. But in antiquity, they had a different meaning. If you go to the story of Abraham, Abraham chased down, no, it wasn't Abraham. It was one of Jacob's children had stole the family Tehillim, which was a altar relic that was the family symbol of who the hereditary heir was to the parent. And they tracked them down to recover it. And they talk about it in the Bible. Well, because the person who have the genetics and the relic can call ancestral energies that can give them information on where hidden treasures are, where what type of gambling bets to make in the future, stuff like that brings fortune in the physical realm. So they use those ancestral totems and those ancestral spirit animals, and they tell the story to let you know that once you go back to your own power, that you able to utilize these forces. Then you can't overuse them, is where the limit of 3 wishes come from. That's telling you be careful for what you wish for, because you don't want to wish for something and then in 5 years you're going to regret you wish for it. So in making the 3 wishes, you got to always wish for things that's going to be beneficial eternally in that aspect. And the ancestral force you crawl on is represented by the family totem item or relic. In some cases, it was a brass teapot. The teapot becomes synonymous with the air coming from the region. So now you're not looking for a teapot. When you come from the Americas, you're looking for a honey pot because the bees is more relevant. Right. But the story is being the same. You got 3 chances to get it right, or you have to move on to the next thing. Mm-hmm. You can only lose 1 out of the 3. If you lose 2 out of 3, you done, because there's no chance you're going to recover on the 3rd one. You still lost your 2. Mm-hmm. So when you making your wish, the story is infused with the contemplation of, if I was going to wish for 3 things in my life, what 3 things would they wish for? Right? And the only thing I wish for is